Hi everyone, it's Brantley. Now, I always say that pronunciation is like the doorway to English. People are going to judge you based on your pronunciation. Why is this? Pronunciation is very often the first thing that people encounter with your English. They don't know how many words you know, they don't know your vocabulary, they don't know your grammar, but the first thing they hear is your pronunciation. So many people will judge you based on your pronunciation. This is why your pronunciation has to be really good. So today, we're going to do an overview of pronunciation and show you what areas of pronunciation we would like to improve. We're going to talk about sounds, syllables, connected speech, reductions, intonation, and rhythm. So let's start out with sounds. With sounds, we're going to use something called the International Phonetic Alphabet. The International Phonetic Alphabet describes human sound. Now, in English, we have roughly 44 sounds. Those sounds are made up of 24 consonants and 16 vowels. Now, if you add that together, what number do you get? If your math was right, you should have gotten 40. So, where are the other four? So, in addition to these 40, we also have something that are called R-controlled vowels. Now these are vowels that are changed by the letter R. And we'll talk more about those as we go along. So when we add those in, we have 44. So in English, our consonants are sounds like b, d, t, k. They're represented by the letters like B, C, D, F, G. Vowels are the sounds like a, e, o, and they're represented by the letters a, e, I, o, u in English. Now, English only has 26 letters in the alphabet, so we don't have enough letters to show all of these sounds. So when we use English writing, we're using letters for more than one sound. Now, this causes a problem, and that's why we're using the International Phonetic Alphabet to help us understand and use sound a little more effectively. All right, let's move on. Next, let's talk about syllables. Syllables are groups of consonants and vowels put together into a small unit of sound. Syllables are parts of words. Now, syllables follow certain rules. And syllables are made up of two parts. We have the onset and the rhyme, R-I-M-E. It sounds just like the letter rhyme, and this is actually the part of a word that rhymes together, but that's beside the point. So we have the onset and the rhyme, these two parts together. The rhyme can be made of two parts as well, the nucleus and the coda. Now, if you see these C's and V's here, this is a consonant, this is a vowel, and this is a consonant. Every syllable in English has a vowel. Let's say almost every syllable in English has a vowel. So this is the nucleus. Syllables can also have a coda, which is an onset, which is a consonant, or a coda, which is a consonant. Now, this gives you some examples of syllables that are possible in English. So we can have a syllable that's just a vowel, a syllable that's a vowel and a consonant, like the word ill, consonant vowel, like C, consonant vowel consonant, but, consonant consonant vowel, free. Now, once again, it's very important to note that we are talking about sound and not spelling. So what you see here is spelling, but we're talking about the sounds, not the spellings. Okay. One last point about syllables that's very important is that syllables in English are either stressed or unstressed. Stress is very important in English, and as we go along, we'll look at why it's important, what it means, and how we can improve it. Okay, so sounds and syllables. Our next area that we're going to look at is connected speech. Connected speech. Now, English words are not always separate. Syllables go together to make words. Words go together to make sentences, to make thoughts. But in English, these words themselves are not completely separate. We have 5 different ways here that these words can be mixed together in a sense. The first is linking, intrusion, elision, assimilation, and geminates. Okay, linking. With linking, I have 2 words here, talk about, but that's not how they sound. We don't actually have a space in between. We put these together. The K goes with the A, so I say talk about, talk about, talk about. The next kind is intrusion. With intrusion, we have a sound that intrudes or goes in between these letters, and that sound in this word is wa. So I have go out, go out. So I don't have a pause in here either. I have go out, go out. Elision. With elision, instead of gaining a sound, I lose a sound. So we have 2 sounds here that are very similar. Next door. So this T is going to disappear. So I'm going to have next door, next door, next door. With assimilation, I have 2 sounds, D, Y, that go together to make one new sound. So instead of having D, Y, I have J. Did you, did you, did you. And finally, with geminates, geminates are, it comes from the word Gemini, meaning twins. So we have twins here. We have 2 letters that are the same, P and P. These P's go together to make one P. So I have stop playing, not stop playing. I have stop playing, stop playing. Okay, so that's connected speech. We're going to learn a lot more about connected speech and practice that quite a bit this term. Next, we have reductions. Reduction of sound goes together with connected speech. When these 2 things occur together, we usually call this reductions in English. Sometimes we have sound reductions and sometimes we have whole word reductions. Function words are reduced and unstressed syllables are reduced. Now, to give you an example of this, here's a sentence. I want to go to the store. Now, in the sentence, we're going to have a reduction of want to and go to. So it sounds like this. I want to go to the store. I want to go to the store. We will learn a lot of reductions. We will learn many words that reduce, and we will practice that this term as well. Okay. Intonation. Intonation is more than rising and falling, and I'm sure that you've learned that yes or no questions rise and statements fall. So that's one use of intonation in English. But we also have intonation of words in a sentence. English sentences tend to start high and end low. But the most important words in the sentence will also go higher than the other words. So with English intonation, we have 4 levels of intonation. We have low intonation, middle intonation, high intonation, and very high intonation. Intonation is used for mood and meaning. So intonation is extremely important in English, and it's a very difficult concept to grasp. Finally, the last area that we're going to look at is rhythm. With rhythm, we're going to talk about thought groups and focus words. Thought groups are groups of words that are put together that form one idea. Each thought group has a focus word or main word in that group. This creates a beat to the rhythm of English. Now, when we talk about rhythm, we're talking about where meaning meets pronunciation. I don't want to get too far into this today. You'll learn about this more this term. But the one thing I want to introduce to you is that English is a stress time language. So all you need to know right now is if I ask you what timing does English have, you can tell me English is stress timed. I'll tell you more about that later, so that will be a mystery for now. All right. So this is our 6 areas of pronunciation that we're going to work on to improve. We have sounds, syllables, connected speech, reductions, intonation, and rhythm. I hope that you can really make some progress this term. I hope that we'll finish this term far better than we started, and that you can really learn about pronunciation and learn how to improve your pronunciation. And thank you very much for listening. Hope you learned something today.